Thanks. Good morning, Facebook. How are you guys? I'm looking forward to seeing you guys tune in. Go ahead and comment your good mornings. I love seeing your little icons pop up so I can address you guys. We're here this morning with Joan. She's my mom, and my name is Kelly. We're going to be guiding you through the next hour-long yoga class. So grab your mats, grab your drink, and get ready to start this sunny Sunday off with a little bit of movement. And I hope maybe if you have an area where you can do this outside, maybe you pull your mat and your device outside with you. That would be awesome. I do hear that rain is going to be coming this afternoon. So if you want to bring your mat outside and get the sunshine while it's here, you can go ahead and grab it. Good morning, Karina. So we have Karina here this morning. We're happy to see you pop in. Usually you take our classes later in the afternoon, but I guess on a Sunday you can take it at 9 with us, so that's great. Mystic Fitness comes live to you guys every morning through Facebook and Instagram. So if you guys need to watch them at a later point in time, they're also archived onto our Facebook page. And then we take that extra step and we upload them to our YouTube channel as well. So we really want to start cultivating our YouTube channel because this is a great way for people to access our content without having a social media presence. Lauren Zompetti said such a great team. So hi, Lauren. Hi, Tom. Great to have you guys. I like seeing your little icons pop up. I like having someone to address rather than just a computer screen. If you guys have any requests for class while we're setting up, you go ahead and comment what you want for this class this morning. So in addition to all of our streaming that we're doing, we are also accepting donations through our Mystic Fitness Venmo account. If you don't have a Venmo but would like to make a donation, reach out to us and we will figure something out together. Of course, this is not necessary to enjoy our classes. This is totally free. But if you are in a financial situation where you feel capable of and feel moved to make a donation, we are absolutely accepting them. And in return, you will receive one of our wonderful Mary Beth handmade masks. They're cloth masks with elastic around the ears. So they're really comfortable to wear, reusable and washable. Or you can opt into some of our gently used materials here. So blocks, yogitos, straps, mats, towels, I mean, you name it, and we'll make it work. So I think that's kind of our MO lately is we're going to make it work, make it work for our community. So we're going to go ahead and get started. So come onto your mats, get nice and comfortable here. Either sitting down or laying down, whatever feels best for your body this morning. Finding a location where you can come into your breath. So allow your eyes to close. Adjust your body so that you have a nice long spine, whether you're laying down or seated. And then just letting a wave of breath come over you once you have entered a position that you can remain in. These first moments here are for our breath. So let's engage within that. Feeling the belly rise and lifting it all the way up to your chest. Up to your full capacity with all of that nutritious oxygen. Then with the exhale, is it just releasing, removing all of the toxins from your body through breath. And I find that at the beginning of our class, when we come into our breath and find this meditation, it's almost like we're setting the stage for our movement or setting the dinner table, getting everything prepared. And our physical body has arrived on our mats, but now it's time for our mental and emotional body to kind of catch up. And of course, there may be some thoughts kind of streaming in and out of your consciousness. And rather than identifying which each thought and letting it kind of take you out of this moment, just kind of observe it and let it come in and out. And this is the kind of letting everything around you just be incorporated into your experience rather than creating some sort of distraction or tension within the mind. Taking 5 more breaths here. And letting your breath expand, maybe taking some movements through the toes and fingers. We'll actually all start our practice on our backs today. So if you're not already, go ahead and lay down onto your back. You can find a nice full body stretch, reaching the arms and legs apart from one another. Perhaps rotating out the ankles and wrists a couple times. Making sure that you're getting your wrists in both directions so that you're nice and warmed up through the arms and the fingers, maybe even opening and closing the hands a couple times. And then pulling the knees into the chest, giving yourself a squeeze here, perhaps finding a little rocking left to right. Keeping your hands on your knees and then just creating some circles. So letting the knees move away from the body and then pulling them back into the body. Almost like you're kind of taking these little breaststroke-like motions in one direction and then in the other direction. Sometimes I like to even bring my hands underneath my sacrum and take these motions so that my lower back is a little bit more supported and a little lift up off of the ground. You can play around with that if you like it. Pulling the right knee into the chest and either keeping the sole of the left foot on the earth or lengthening the left leg all the way down your mat, finding a wind relieving pose on the right side. Breathing here as you find a gentle squeezing in with that right knee towards the body, perhaps rotating at right ankle. And then we'll come into some core work here. So I've really been enjoying this very low impact style of movement for my core. So I'm going to take my knee and stack it right above my hip. So right knee over right hip. And the shin is parallel to the sky, maybe with that flexed foot to really lock in your leg. Bringing the left hand behind your head as a little pillow, and then bringing the right palm and pressing it into right thigh. So as much as that hand is pressing into thigh, thigh is pressing into hand. So you should already start to feel those lower bellies start to turn on and squeeze. From here, we're going to lift that left heel to just a hover, and then we're going to take 10 heel taps. So the heel drops to a smaller hover, maybe even taps the ground, and then comes back up for 10, 9, 8. Keep pressing into right thigh. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Pull right knee back into the chest. Give yourself another squeeze here. And then interlace hands behind right thigh and just bend and extend through right leg a couple times, accessing into the hamstring. Maybe even pointing and flexing the right foot as it lengthens and extends. Just taking a little organic movement here. You might even keep the right leg extended and kind of creep your hands up towards the calf if you're looking for a little deeper stretch through your hamstring. We'll find one more breath here, in and out. Pulling both knees back into the chest, give yourself a squeeze. And then keeping left knee where it is, either bringing the right sole of the foot down to the earth or extending right leg long. Here's your wind relieving pose on the left side. So we're gently kind of pulling that left knee in towards the chest, perhaps rotating left ankle. And just a friendly reminder here that in any posture you're in, you can always find some subtle movements to kind of transfer that stretch into different movements and directions. Coming into our core activation by lifting the left knee above left hip, nice and stacked here, 90-degree angle with the left leg. Putting your right palm behind your head as a pillow, and then taking left palm and pressing into left thigh. So this engagement of pressing the thigh away and thigh pressing into the hand is going to stay for the entire remainder of this core pose. Let's lift that right heel to a hover and find our 10 toe taps here for 10, 9, 8, 7. Keep pressing with that left hand. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Both knees pull in towards the chest. Just kidding. Lengthen right leg down your mat. Find that wind relieving pose on the left side. One more time. And then interlacing hands behind left thigh and bending and extending through the left leg a couple times. Pointing and flexing the foot through your journey. Maybe even extending the leg long and just finding a hamstring stretch and holding here for the last 2 breaths. And then releasing out of this pose. Bringing the soles of the feet to the opposite edges of the mat, opening the arms into a T, and then just dropping the knees from left to right a couple times. Just getting some gentle twisting here. And then we're going to lift ourselves up to a seated position. So if you want to rock all the way onto one side and then pick yourself up, or just kind of roll forward. We're going to come into a boat pose. So I want to really kind of knock off some of the core stuff that we need to do this morning. So let's bring the soles of the feet to the earth with a 90-degree angle in those legs. Destination number 1 for your boat pose might just be kind of bringing the hands underneath the thighs and just kind of sinking back. You'll notice how my mom here has a nice flat back, so she's not letting her back curl. She's using her core muscles to keep herself lifted. So from here, you can either choose to remain exactly here, and this is the extent of your boat pose this morning, or you can come along for a little bit more of a challenge. And then we're going to take some movement towards heart center, and then we're going to twist over to the left, twist over towards the right. Left and right. 5, 3, 2, 1. Come back to center. Extend the arms in front of you. Pull your knees in. Create a little compact boat. And then with the exhale, extend your boat. Inhale, compact. Exhale, extend. A little faster for 10, 9, 8. Keep your gaze up to the sky to relax your neck. 6, 5, 4. Feel the burn. 3, 2. We're there. 1. Inhale, squeeze the knees. You can drop the soles of the feet to the ground. You can find a nice flat back here. And then let the soles of the feet come together, knees flop out for a bound angle position. Just for a moment here, you can either keep yourself lifted or take a gentle little forward fold. This is just for a moment so that we can stretch the outer hips after that boat pose. Creates a little tension on the hip flexors. Go ahead and roll yourself forward. Come onto your hands and knees in your table pose. Finding some cat and cows here, dropping the chest, gazing forward with the inhale. And with the exhale, curling and rounding through the spine, really pressing the floor away, tucking your chin towards your chest. Inhale, arch and open. Exhale, curl and round. So continue taking these movements here for a couple more. I'm seeing a couple comments come in. Good morning, Tillits. We have Maureen here. Christine, good morning. I was actually just thinking about you yesterday, Christine. I was at work and I was just thinking about you. Miss you guys. Keep moving here with some inhales and exhales. And then let this become a little bit more organic, perhaps rocking the hips from side to side. Taking some full pelvic bowl circles might feel nice and welcome for your body. And whenever we come onto our hands and knees like this is a very playful and primal way of moving. So the way we learned how to move when we were first babies is crawling. So this is a very comfortable place for us, right? This is where it all started. So kind of engaging with that playful curiosity. And now that we have most of our abs off of the list, let's go ahead and tuck the toes under with a flat back and lift those knees to just a hover. I want you to feel what it feels like to engage those abdominals on our hands and knees. Now from this location with the abs squeezed in, go ahead and lift those hips up and back. Find your downward facing dog. Start to pedal your feet here in your downward facing dog. One heel lifts at a time. Rolling the shoulders down and away from the ears. Even shaking the head, yes and no. Take a deep breath in and out. So we did access our hamstrings. This should be another little hamstring stretch for you as you walk your dog. Taking some back and forth presses with the inhale, dropping the knees to hover, gazing forward. And then with the exhale, using this spring-like motion to launch yourself into your plank pose. Make sure those shoulders don't go past the wrists. Inhale, hips pull up and back, bent knee dog. And with the exhale, plank pose. Two more here. Inhale, press it back. Exhale, launch it forward. Last one, in. And with the out, holding in our plank pose. A nice flat back here. So from the heels of the feet all the way to your crown, one strong line. Thighs and glutes are squeezing here just as much as your abdominals. Inhale. With the exhale, drop the knees to the ground and slowly lower, finding your chaturanga with the elbows pointing back. Inhale for your low cobra. Start to peel the chest up. Chin is tucked. Shoulders are pulling towards one another and away from your ears. Exhale, relax. Pressing your way back to your table pose. And then tucking the toes under, hips pull up and back, downward facing dog. So throughout class today, you can skip your chaturangas entirely if they're not working for you. You can take the low cobra style version where we drop those knees to the ground, or you can find your full version of chaturanga. So we'll flow through this together. With the inhale, bend the knees to a hover, gaze forward. And with the exhale, we're coming into our forward fold at the top of our mat. Hold here for a moment, deep bend through the knees. Maybe you take a little ragdoll by grabbing onto opposite elbow, shaking the head yes and no. Just kind of find a little pit stop in our fold here. Inhale for a halfway lift, fingertips to shin. Squeeze through your abdominals, lengthen the crown of the head to the front of the room. This is an active pose. Exhale, soften. Inhale, press through the feet, slowly rise all the way up to standing. Inhale, arms pull up overhead. And with the exhale, hands to heart. Pausing here for a moment, making sure the feet are hip distance apart. We're going to take some chair twists. So with the inhale, arms reach up. And with the exhale, sit down into your chair and twist to the right. Left arm pulls forward, right arm pulls back. Inhale to center, even squeeze and press the pelvis forward. Exhale, dip and twist to the left. I'll rise. Exhale, twist right. Inhale. Exhale, twist left. Two more on both sides. In and out. In and out. Here's our last full round. Inhale, rise. Exhale, dip and twist. Inhale, rise. Exhale, dip and twist. Inhale, come through center. Pay attention with the exhale. Sit down into your center chair. So we're sinking those hips back. We have a bend through the knees. For a moment, bring your hands to the outsides of the knees. I want you to press the knees into your hands and hands press back into the knees. Do you feel that engagement through the outer edge and glutes? One more breath here. Inhale. With the exhale, forward, fold, relax. Maybe take a little wiggle here, shaking of the head, yes and no. Even a little lymphatic kind of, I guess it's almost like a little booty shake to be so bold. Inhale for your halfway lift, engage. Exhale, soften, hands plant, stepping or hopping back to your plank pose. Breathing in your plank pose, deciding which style of chaturanga is going to suit your practice best. Inhale, prepare. With the exhale, lowering halfway or dropping the knees and lowering all the way. Inhale, upward facing dog. Keep those knees and hips lifted. Or low cobra. And exhale, downward facing dog. Breathe in, breathe out. Inhale, right leg sweeps up to the sky. And with the exhale, curl the knee into the chest. Inhale, sweep it back up. Exhale, right knee to the chest. Step to your runner's lunge. In your runner's lunge, setting yourself up so that that right foot is really planted towards the right edge of your mat. So the feet are hip distance apart, ball of the left foot. Coming into our runner's lunge, hover by starting to pull the chest up, arms pull back with the palms facing down. So there's this active energy of the upper body pulling forward and then the arms pulling backward. Find that contrast. Press into right foot. Inhale and exhale. Inhale, lift to your crescent lunge. Arms reach up. Gentle bend through that back left knee. And exhale, return back to your hover. Inhale, rise, crescent lunge. And exhale, hover. Two more here. Inhale, lift. Exhale, hover. Last one. Inhale, rise. And exhale, hover. Left arm forward, right arm pulls back. Thunderbolt position. Inhale. With the exhale, dial left heel down. Cartwheel open to your warrior two. We're going to come out of our warrior two and into a goddess position. So the heels turn in, toes point out. Here is your goddess pose. Bounce in and out of it a couple times just to kind of feel, what does it feel like in the hip flexors as you sink a little lower? And perhaps you need a drink of water if you're talking up a storm. Once you find yourself in your goddess pose, solidify the heels into the ground. You don't want to go too deep because then you're just putting a lot of pressure on your hip flexors. You want to find that happy spot in the middle where you can engage and squeeze through the legs. Bringing your palms into lotus mudra so the thumbs and pinkies touch, fingers splay out. With the inhale, rise and lift your lotus up to the sky. Exhale, open the arms and return back to the start in your lotus mudra, in your goddess. Inhale, rise. Exhale, lower. Inhale, maybe as you rise, you come up onto your tippy toes. And exhale, lower. 4 more. Inhale, lift. And lower. 3. 2. And 1. Inhale, lift. And with the exhale, turn this into your warrior two. So the right toes turn back to face the front of your mat. Turn those left toes in so that the outer edge of your foot is pressing for the back of your mat. Notice if your hips are a little out to the left and try to keep them right below the shoulders. With the inhale, flip right palm, reverse your warrior. And with the exhale, extend your warrior and hold here. So you can either bring that right forearm on top of the thigh as a little shelf here, or relying on your abdominals to keep yourself lifted. Start to rotate through that left shoulder a couple times. I like to bring my palm on the right hand to my thigh so I can kind of focus on that rotation through left shoulder. Take that in the opposite direction. And then find your best version of your side angle. So whatever variation you want to take with the arms, press into the feet, especially that back edge of the left foot. Don't forget about it. Inhale. And with the exhale, return back to your warrior two. Lengthen through the right leg. Turn the toes in for a wide-legged position. Let's set this up by opening the arms into a T. Maybe your lifts, fill your lungs with oxygen. And with the exhale, hinge from the hips. Find a wide-legged forward fold. Allow yourself to relax here. Perhaps shaking of the head, yes and no. Bending and extending through the knees and rocking the hips left to right. Perhaps you want to grab onto your ankles and just kind of hold a more static pose. And if you are kind of on your path to learning any inversions or headstands or anything like that, a great way to practice is when you're in this position is kind of rolling your weight into the toes a little bit more so that the hips are starting to stack above the shoulders. Yeah. So if you're in that position, you can kind of feel that. You don't want to roll too far forward or we're just going in a somersault. Walking your hands over towards right foot, coming back to your runner's lunge. And then we're going to find a standing split by walking the fingertips a little bit more forward and reaching the left toes up off of the ground. Keep that left foot flexed. Your hands can be on blocks here. We want to dial the left toes towards the ground so that our hips are also dialing towards the ground as well. We're going to come into a little movement here. So the inhale is this extension. The exhale is kind of a curtsy-like motion where we're bringing the left knee behind right knee, tapping. Inhale, lift and rise, standing split. Exhale, curtsy with the left knee behind right knee. If you want to challenge yourself, bring your hands to your heart. Inhale, standing split. Exhale, curtsy. So notice how this pose changes as you practice with your balance. Maybe the fingertips are on your shins instead. We'll take about 2 more at your own pace. So inhale is an extending. Exhale is a dipping. Last one. All right, we're going to get real funky now. You ready for this? Keep that left knee behind right knee and start to sit onto your bum. Yeah, sit down. We're going to come into a seated twist here. So you can either left leg long and just have right ankle stacked over, or you can come into that pose that we sat in with the left foot kind of tucked in with a bent knee. All right, so now we're on the ground, right? We found a little funky variation there. Hopefully you guys were able to follow. Bring the right fingertips towards the back, right? Keep yourself lifted in a kickstand. And then wrap your left arm around left leg. Left arm around right leg. Find a twist by looking over right shoulder. So inhale is a lengthening through your spine. Exhale is a twisting over. One more breath here. Inhale. And exhale, twist. To come out of this, start to twist back to center. Place right foot on the ground, and we're going to come back into our standing split. So walk your fingertips forward. You got this. If you need to come out of it, you can. Right foot, left foot lifts. Bringing your hands to your chest and slowly rising with the left knee in towards the chest. Squeezing your left leg, rotating the ankle. And then landing that left foot down next to right. Let's take a breath, wash it away. All right, now I have to remember that on the other side, so wish me luck here. Let's just empty coat sleeve a couple times. You can grab a drink of water. That sequence was not an easy one, so give yourself a chance to prepare to do it on the other side. When you're ready, we'll come up to the top of our mat and we'll flow back to the other side. Following through a vinyasa. So with the inhale, circle sweep the arms, reach up. Exhale, hinging from the hips, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. And exhale, release, hands plant, step back to your plank pose. Choosing what style of chaturanga you want as you inhale. And with the exhale, finding that chaturanga. Inhale, up dog or low cobra. And exhale, downward facing dog. Breathe in. Breathe out. One more. Inhale, left leg sweeps to the sky. Exhale, knee to chest. Inhale, sweep it back up. Exhale, knee to chest. Step to your runner's lunge. Left foot towards left hand. Setting up to make sure the feet are hip distance apart. Engaging through both quads. And then peeling your chest up. Arms reach back. Here's your hover. So there's an energy pulling forward and an energy pulling backward. So find that contrast. Inhale, rise to your crescent lunge. Find a gentle bend through right knee. Exhale, hover. Inhale, rise, crescent lunge. Exhale, hover. That breath is so important as we're moving. Last two, inhale. And exhale. Last one, inhale, rise. And exhale, hover and hold. Keeping the left hand where it is, extending right arm in front of you. Inhale, thunderbolt position. With the exhale, dial right heel down. Open it up to your warrior two. In your warrior two, we're going to come into our goddess pose. So both heels turn in, toes turn out. Sink those hips down just a bit until you find that pressure on the hip flexors, and then squeeze through those thighs and press the heels into the earth. We're just going to hold here with our breath for 5, 4, press with those heels, 3, 2, and 1. Inhale, rise. And with the exhale, turn into your warrior two on the left side. So those left toes turn to the front of your mat, back edge of the right foot pressing to the back of the mat. Notice those hips, line them up. Open the arms into a T. Inhale, flip left palm, reverse your warrior. And with the exhale, extend your warrior and hold here. That left forearm can always press on left thigh. Rotate through right arm. We're trying to make sure that our inhales are coming through our nose if possible. And if you need that audible exhale, you can take it, but it's very important that we try to control our breath. Take this in the opposite direction. And when I say control our breath, I don't mean constrict our breath. I mean control it so that we're utilizing the inhales and exhales. Find your best version of your side angle. Hold that outer edge of the right foot. Inhale, rise to your warrior two. Here comes our pit stop. Lengthen left leg. Turn the toes in, wide-legged position. Perhaps opening the arms into a T, taking a deep breath. And with the exhale, hinging from the hips, finding a wide-legged position. This is your pit stop to come back to your breath. Take a little rest. And at any point in class, if you need to take a more restful break, You can always come into a child's pose. And like I've been reminding you guys this week, it's been a very humid couple of days, very hot week. So if you ever need a break throughout your class, it's always welcome. And honestly, it's so important to listen to your body. And that's honestly the biggest part of yoga, not the movements. Breath and taking care of yourself is number one on our list. Walking the hands over towards left foot, coming into your runner's lunge. And then we're going to find our standing split by walking the fingertips a little bit more forward, maybe even on blocks, and then having that right leg extend to the sky. With a flexed foot, turn those right toes to point to the ground. So notice how that changes your hip location. You want right hip to be right next to left hip. Now we're going to pulse here. So the inhale is a lengthening standing split, and the exhale is a bringing right knee behind left knee, dipping in a little curtsy position. Inhale, lift and extend. Exhale, curtsy. If you want to challenge your balance, you can bring the fingertips towards the shins or maybe towards the heart. We're going to inhale, lift, and exhale, curtsy. Last two. And with the last one, as you bring that right knee behind left, we're going to use this motion to sit all the way down onto the ground. So either the right leg is extended long in front of you, or that right knee is bent and the heel is towards left hip. Coming into our twist, so the left fingertips reach behind us for a little kickstand, grabbing onto left knee with right arm. Inhale to lengthen. Exhale to twist and gaze over left shoulder. That inhale is lifting and rising. Exhale, twisting. Last breath. Coming back to center, we're going to come back into our standing split. So that means that you're either going to come out of this and just stand up, or you're going to plant the left foot on the ground, bring your fingertips in front of you, and lengthen right leg up the sky. Bring your hands to your heart and pull right knee in towards the chest. Very challenging. Give the knee a squeeze. Rotate right ankle. And then land in your mountain pose. You guys are amazing. That is not easy at all. I'm sweating. Mom is sweating. We're all sweating. And just relax. Shake it out. Give yourself a little water break. And then we'll come into a standing posture. Let's actually walk to the back of your mat. So I was very inspired by Brenda the other day. She gave us an awesome little moving, balancing kind of idea. So I'd like to revisit that by stepping to the back of your mat. Inhale, arms reach up. And with the exhale, pull the hands towards your heart. Step forward with that right foot and lengthen left leg behind you for a warrior three. So the leg lengthening behind you. Left foot is flexed. You can even bring your hands on top of your right thigh as a little support for yourself. But what's very important is that left leg is squeezing and engaged. This makes this balance so much easier. Keep that chest gently lifted. If you need to walk over to a wall or a piece of furniture, that's all good. This is your practice. Now slowly start to bring left knee in towards the chest. And then step it forward. So we're taking another step forward. Pulling right knee into the chest, giving it a squeeze. And then opening to your dancing Shiva pose. So left arm to the left, right leg to the right. Squeeze left glute, flex that right foot. If you're the dancer type, you might grab onto right foot and extend the leg long. Notice if this made your hips kind of rock to one side or the other. Try to keep everything nice and balanced. Turning this into your tree pose. So letting that right foot come into either on the tippy toes on the ground. This is the variation number 1 for your tree pose. Or creeping that right foot up towards the shin or inner calf. Just avoid your knee. So right foot is pressing somewhere on left leg. Find your balance. Transcend within your tree. And release. Beautiful. Take a little walk back to the back of your mat. We're going to take that to the other side. Start by just bringing the arms alongside of you. Let's take 2 cleansing breaths. Breathe in through the nose and exhale. One more. Inhale, arms reach up. Exhale, hands to heart. Step forward with left foot. Extend right leg behind you. Warrior 3. Right foot is flexed, that entire right leg is engaged. You can interlace the hands on top of left thigh. Right toes might even be on the ground. This might be more of a lunge position with just a little balance in the mix. Hold for 3, 2, 1. Pulling right knee into the chest. And then stepping right foot forward. Pulling left knee into the chest. Standing wind relieving pose. Right arm out to the right. Left leg out to the left. Dancing Shiva pose. Squeeze right glute. If you're the dancer type, you can extend the left leg long. Relax your shoulders. Breathe in and out. Turning this into your tree pose. Take as long as you need. In your tree pose, remember those left toes can always be on the earth. And this is more of a grounded position. Or you can start to creep the left foot up somewhere that avoids the right knee. And that left foot is pressing into a strong right leg. This is your rooted lower body. And release. Bring both feet to the ground. Shake up the legs. The rest from here on out is smooth sailing, I promise. We can cross balance off the list. We can cross our chair off the list. And we can cross our core off the list. Well, almost. I might sneak in one more. Inhale, arms reach up to the sky. Exhale, hinge from the hips, forward fold. Inhale for your halfway lift. Exhale, hands plant, stepping back to your plank pose. We're going to find our plank pose here for 5, 4, pull that chest forward, 3, 2, 1, drop down onto your forearm plank. So the palms stay open, we're on our forearm. Always drop those knees to the ground, you guys. It is still a powerful pose. Notice if your hips are kind of pressing up. Drop the hips to meet your midline and press your chest forward for 5. Press the heels back. 4, 3, 2, 1. Land the knees and hips to the ground. Find a Sphinx pose. Keep your chin tucked. Use the connection of the forearms on the earth to pull yourself forward, stretching the abdominals long. This should feel really lovely after holding some really intense postures this morning. You guys did an amazing job. This was not an easy class. I usually make up the class as I go, so depending on what mood I am physically, mentally, emotionally, is kind of what comes across in the class. So if you are not in that mood, you can take it down a notch to match your mood and your energy level. Pressing yourself back up into your table pose. And we're going to come into our pigeon pose. So if you want to find a reclined pigeon, you lay onto your backs. If you're ready for a prone pigeon, tuck the toes under, hips pull up and back, downward facing dog to prepare. Take any little wiggles. Inhale, right leg reaches up to the sky. And maybe you take a couple of movements with that right leg, maybe opening up your hip. We didn't take a opener through the hip in a three-legged dog yet, so if you want to hit that. Eventually, the right knee pulls in towards right wrist, landing in your prone pigeon position. Now, before going anywhere, notice if you need to take a modification. So that means that it's either left knee out and bent towards the left, or bringing a block underneath right glute or hip. What's important here is that that right thigh is parallel to the long edge of the mat, so we want to make sure that our joints are nice and protected here. Now you can stay upright for a couple moments or maybe the entire time of this pose, or you can start to hinge yourself gently forward. I like to bring a block underneath my head so that my neck and shoulders can relax and they're not bearing any weight. Deep breaths are very important here to really start to experience the benefits of this posture. Continue breathing here. Slowly starting to come up out of this pose, lifting your chest back up, tucking the left toes under and extending to your downward facing dog. Again, taking any little movements here. Eventually, left leg pulls up. You might even open the hip by bending the left knee, opening up through left side body. And then that left knee pulls towards left wrist, eventually coming into your pigeon pose. Take any number of modifications that you took on the other side, on this side. That might mean you have to use more modifications or less, depending on which side is generally a little tighter. You can keep that chest lifted. Make sure the left thigh is parallel to the long edge of your mat. You can keep your chest lifted for a moment. And then slowly hinge forward. And I'd like to say thank you to my friend Karina, who commented first this morning. She's been awesome of sending me little postures in my Facebook Messenger, just kind of giving me some inspiration, and I really appreciate the communication with you guys. So thank you, Karina. Relax yourself. Let each exhale be an opportunity to soften. Slowly turning back out of this position by propping yourself back up. Planting your hands on the ground, right toes tuck under, downward facing, just to round it out. And then we'll drop onto our knees and come onto our backs. So allow yourself to turn onto your backs. Extend the legs long, arms long. Find a nice full body stretch. Pulling the knees into the chest, giving yourself a squeeze. And then keeping the right knee where it is, lengthening left leg down your mat, finding a quick wind relieving pose. And then turning this into your twist, so letting that right leg cross over towards the left. I like to take a block underneath right knee to kind of support that knee from floating. My mom usually takes a variation where she has Both knees stacked on top of one another with a block in between, like a little sandwich. And then just rest and relax into this. Try to generally keep both shoulders on the earth. Gaze can be in any direction. If you want a intense stretch through your neck, you might gaze over to right fingertips. Slowly starting to come back to center. Pulling left knee into the chest, lengthening right leg down your mat. Just a moment in your wind relieving. And then turning this into your twist, so left knee crosses over towards the right. Again, take any variation with your blocks or legs that feels best for you. Generally trying to keep both shoulders towards the earth. That left shoulder might pick off a little bit, but it's pretty much on the ground if you can. Find a restful breath here. Notice how the mood has changed from the beginning of our class to now. Yoga is this beautiful cycle, just the same way most of nature is in this cycle. A couple more deep breaths here, relaxing on each exhale. Coming back to center, taking any last posture of your choice. So just check in with your body, notice what it needs. Maybe bringing the soles of the feet together, knees flop out, or taking that opposite, bringing the soles of the feet to the outer edges of the mat and the knees flop in. You can find a waterfall pose like my mom is taking, a block underneath the sacrum, legs extended. Find about 2 breaths, and then find your final resting pose when you're ready. Once you've come into your final resting pose, just letting a wave of breath come over you. Noticing the softness that resides within your heart. Just allowing everything to slow down around you. Maybe even bringing your hands somewhere on the body that feels comforting, or keeping your arms alongside of you with the palms facing up, ready to receive whatever this universe has to offer you. It's so easy to become detached from the magic that this life grants us. It's almost like sometimes we're waiting for this like aha moment where we kind of are bombarded by spiritual energy or complete peace. But the reality is we are householders that have responsibilities, and that the true magic really just exists when you can connect to the simplicity of life. And if you really want to see it, you will see it. Even the simple magic of having lungs that take in breath. The simple magic of having skin that senses touch and the feeling of wind or a gentle breeze. The magic of having two eyes that can see the beauty within all things. The simple magic of having emotions so that you can love. Even the simple magic of sadness. That way you know how much you care. The simple magic of having this body that carries you from one destination to another, provides you with two arms to hug. Even this body that has taste buds that can have a delicious ice cream. All of it. I mean, this is the most magical experience. Taking another deep breath in and letting it go. Slowly starting to return back, taking any little gentle movements before taking the next 3 breaths, and slowly starting to pick yourself up into your meditative seat. Once you're in your meditative seat, bringing one hand over your heart and one hand over your belly. Really feeling the presence of this physical body. This body holding me, reminding me that I am not alone. This body makes me feel eternal. All this pain is an illusion. I'd like to seal our practice in this morning with 3 consecutive sounds of Om, because we missed our Om at the beginning. So once you are finished with one Om, go ahead and jump right into the next. Let's start by taking a cleansing breath in and out. And for Om, inhale. Inhale. Om. 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 Thank you all so much for tuning in to another live Mystic Fitness Flow. And this eternal body within me bows to the internal body within you. Namaste. Thank you guys all so much for another class. I really enjoy being able to provide you guys with all of this content. Please let your family know that we're here if they're looking for yoga classes as well. One of my favorite things to do is do yoga with my mom, and I'm so lucky to be able to do that. So we have a lot of thank yous. Thank you, Joan. Thank you, Kelly. Beautiful practice. Thank you, Karina. Thanks to all of you guys commenting. We got a holy moly. Very thankful. You guys are awesome. It's really just like kind of making me want to cry right now at how wonderful you guys are. So thank you again. And we will see you tomorrow. It is Kelly Spencer morning. So we'll be having a power class. And Luciana, my name is Kelly. And this is Joan. And Ken, Jacob, I realized that your son and me graduated together, actually. So that's such a small world. I had no idea. Evan messaged me one day and said that he heard my voice coming from your device. So small world. Thank you guys so much, and we'll see you tomorrow.